Episode 13 of WP Bosses. We have Jake Jackson from Blue Liquid Designs, the creator of Gravity PDF. Let's quickly go around the room and say hello, everyone. Paul, who are you?
Hi, I'm Paul, and I run a company called Gold Coast Business Websites, where I'm a front-end developer. I also have a couple of minions that do work for me. I also run a service called WP Genie, which is a WordPress website care service, and that keeps me up at nights. Thanks.
Cool. Tracey, who are you?
I'm Tracey Kemp from Get Web Creative, based on the Gold Coast as well, and I'm a front-end developer as well.
Jake Jackson, who are you?
Well, Jake Jackson. So I develop, support, and make Gravity PDF. Basically, my company, Blue Liquid Designs, is the company behind the software, but Gravity PDF is the...
Cool. I'm Robey Lawrence. I run a web dev business called Bearded Friend, and because I'm a copycat, I like to do what Paul does. I've created a WordPress maintenance service as well. And to tie in with Bearded Friend, I called it the wpbarber.co. I probably need to see the barber myself, but we can talk about that later. And that is me. And so let's turn to Tracey for any meetup news.
Yeah, there's a bit going on. We've got the Toowoomba WordPress group meeting tomorrow night. That's just a general conversation about WordPress and help and things like that. Next Tuesday, WordPress Adelaide's meeting, and they don't have, as far as I can see, on the Meetup website. Also, next Wednesday, the WordPress Melbourne user group is meeting, and they are talking about developing for the WordPress customer. They're also doing a general Q&A. Then we have Brisbane meeting next Thursday night. They're talking about SSL, so that should be good. And then also next Thursday, we have the North Sydney meetup, and they haven't given any indication of what their topic is either.
Lucky dip. I like those.
Yeah. That's it for the next week.
Cool. What would you prescribe someone with a sick WordPress website?
Is that to me?
Yeah.
you joke off. Okay, so I've got a couple of tips for keeping the websites secure and all that sort of stuff. Tracey just mentioned that those three letters, the SSL. If you don't have an SSL certificate for your website yet, well, come on. I mean, seriously, you just got to get one. I mean, everyone's doing it. It's the common rage now. It's if you don't have one, then you're a loser. No, you're not. Look, anyway, Google is really, well, and a lot of organizations are really pushing for a safer web. So so check your website host to see if you have the ability to install Let's Encrypt. Let's Encrypt is a free SSL certificate. It will pretty much encrypt the data between the user's computer and the computer that the website is sitting on, or the server. So even if your website isn't taking any money or anything like that, contact forms are considered information that is being sent from the user's computer to a server. So that is kind of private information. So you need to encrypt that. So check it out. Check out Let's Encrypt. Ask your hosting company if they have it installed or if they can install it for you, and get it set up, because it's really great for your website and for your users. And another thing about that is if people are using Chrome or most modern browsers these days, if they go to your website, then they'll see a little notification up next to your URL that says this site is not secure, which could be a bit of a turn off for some people coming to your site. So yeah, get Let's Encrypt. The other thing that I was going to talk about is just more of a general WordPressy maintenancey thing, and it's to check your broken links on your site. So if you've got any links that or any pages that you've created in the past, and you might have interlinked those pages, and then you've removed those pages, then some of those links on some of your pages might be broken. So there's a really cool plugin to get called it's called Broken Link Checker. So install that, and then that will do a scan through your site and will find any links that are broken, basically. And it will also look for any links that are broken externally as well. So if you've got any, what I mean by that is if you've got any links that are pointing out from your website to external websites, and they have been updated or broken in the past, then it also notifies you of those broken links as well. So yeah, that's pretty much my tips. So get SSL and check your broken links. Thanks.
Luxford. I've put another plugin from an Aussie dev called WP Catalog, called Enigma Digital. And what it looks like WP Catalog does, you have just a simple selection of products that you don't necessarily need to. You don't need to install WooCommerce or an e-commerce solution and a payment gateway. You just want a list of products. You can add those in using WP Catalog. Just put the short code on whichever page you want it to appear. Uncle, as the saying goes. WordCamp Brisbane is coming up on the 22nd and 23rd of July this year. Attending, or if you are interested in speaking, or if you are interested in search for WordCamp Brisbane and you'll find all the details. The exact link, which I'll post, the links go, is 2017.brisbane.wordcamp.org. And news over. Okay, let's get into the questions for Jake. It's for Jake, don't we? Jake, give us some background. When and how did you meet WordPress?
Well, that's it's about 7 years ago now, Robey. I got my first job as a web developer, basically creating websites for this local company in Port Macquarie, where I live. That's in New South Wales, for anyone who doesn't know. And basically he was, my boss was creating static websites at the time. And I thought there's got to be a better way to do this. There's tons of solutions out there that you can set up. So I started experimenting with them: Joomla, Drupal, and WordPress. And that was the first time I met WordPress.
Very romantic story.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And so after building websites with WordPress, how long after that decided to start getting into plugins?
Well, actually, I stopped doing web development for a few years. I moved down to Sydney, and I basically became a content manager for a dirt bike magazine called Transmoto, and I was down there for 2 years. But I was doing freelance web development on the side, so I wasn't doing it full time. And basically, I started making WordPress sites for clients in my spare time. And it wasn't until I quit that job, I was there for 2 years, moved back home to Port Macquarie and started developing full time that I thought plugins were pretty cool. And Gravity PDF actually came about for people who aren't aware of it. It's a Gravity Forms extension or add-on. So Gravity Forms collects all the information on your website, and Gravity PDF takes that and generates a nice looking PDF document. But how it came about, actually, it's a fork of another plugin called Gravity Forms PDF. And that was really basic. That would allow you to generate a PDF document from a Gravity Form entry. And it was based on their print preview. But that software didn't have the ability to automatically email the PDF when the form got submitted. So I forked it and then made some modifications and released version 1 in, what was it, September 2012.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
Yeah, and yeah, it's grown. What's that, sorry?
How much work was that to create? Because it's quite complicated and complex, the plugin, and even
well,
more so now with the new version.
Yeah, it's got a lot more complex over the iterations. Actually, version 1 was very, very simple. It was basically you drop in a filter to attach the PDF to a notification. Basically, I had issues having this functionality with Gravity Forms. My client wanted the PDF to be emailed. So I thought, well, I spent all this time making these modifications. I want to make it easier for other developers who need that functionality in future. So the plugin in its inception was targeted at web developers. It was never targeted at the end user, the business owner, the do-it-yourself web guy. So that was its inception. So the first 2, even 3 versions, major releases were very heavily developer orientated, and it's only in the last year that I overhauled it all with a little bit of help. I've got a helper as well, Paul, and released version 4, which basically moves everything to the user interface in the WordPress backend, and it's a few clicks, and you've got PDFs generating and emailing and password protection and whatever else you want to do. So it's been a long road, but yeah, we're getting there.
Cool. So how many are there of you guys? So it's just you and your
it's just me
well?
and another developer, Julian Tapping. He actually lives 5 minutes down the road from me. So I had him start working for me about two and a half years ago now. Basically, the revenue from Gravity PDF, it's a free add-on, but the revenue we made was developing custom PDF templates. So I was doing all that myself, but it took up all my time. I didn't have time to grow the software, or I was originally still building websites and doing hosting and things like that. And Gravity PDF was a side project. So I needed a helper, and Julian helps me out with all the custom templates now, and he does most of the work, and I review it all and get to work on making Gravity PDF even better.
Nice. How do you handle support? How do you handle the support side?
Actually, it's not too bad. I do most of the support. We have very, very extensive documentation that I spent countless hours writing, and that basically stops a lot of the, hey, how do we do this, or how do we do that? It's all written, nice. And half of all requests are basically already written about in the documentation. So I just point them to that information. And yeah, so it's only a small number every day that might require a bit more attention than the average support ticket.
Nice. Yeah, I can imagine that would be a big thing if you didn't have that support documentation. So good work on your docs as well.
Well,
well written.
I've already been through the teething issues in the first 3 versions, so I knew what to expect and how to keep those numbers low in terms of support and make a good product with version 4. So I mean, 2012 was a long time ago. It wasn't until 2016 that version 4 was released. So there was a lot of years between the developer-orientated version of the software and dealing with those issues.
Well done. Well done.
So with Julian living 5 minutes down the road, do you have many co-working days?
We used to, and now we just find it easier if he works from home, I work from home, and we use Slack to communicate, and we usually touch base once a week on a hangout and just keep each other apprised of what's going on. But yeah, it's all pretty autonomous. He starts work whenever he wants and finishes whenever he wants, and as long as the work's done, I'm happy.
So is that because you stopped showering that he doesn't want to come over anymore?
It might be because my fiance moved in.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the most popular use cases for Gravity PDF?
So I've actually been tracking, so we create custom PDF templates for clients, which is the main money maker. And I've been tracking what businesses they're related to for the last 2 years. So the biggest business orientation is the professional services, like legal and financial and insurance. And they usually want either government PDFs automatically filled out with the data they capture, or they have their own information handwritten document that gets filled out, and they want to go all digital. So instead of having people have to handwrite all the info and then scan it and send it back to them, and then they've got to enter it into their system. They just want to have their online form where their customers can go and enter their info and have the same digital version of their printout created and then sent an email to them. So that's the biggest use case. But there's so many. We get people from the healthcare system, education, real estate, construction. I'm just having a look.
What's the most interesting thing you've seen someone do with it?
The most interesting, I would have to say, was a business called Go Proposal, and that's run by James Ashford. He's basically created a SaaS system with Gravity PDF as the major component of the system. So basically, it's Go Proposal is targeted at accountants, and it handles all their proposal system. So you send out all the services they offer to their clients, the costs involved. It's basically a glorified invoice. And then again, digitally, the client can go, okay, I want to accept that, and they sign it, and they get a signed contract with Gravity PDF, all automated. And last time I checked, which was last week, he had about 35 accountants using it now, and he only launched it about 2 months ago. So it seems to be going well so far. But that's definitely the biggest use case that I've seen in the wild anyway.
Awesome.
You got any any plans to integrate with other WordPress form plugins?
I actually toyed with that for a little while, a few years back, with Formidable Pro at the time. And that was back when I was using version 3 of Gravity PDF, that is. But it was very challenging to try and keep 2 code bases up to date. And the differences between Gravity Forms and Formidable Pro at the time was a challenge to try and keep up with the version updates. And with a small staff, it's very difficult to do. Maybe again in the future, but I've got big plans to basically create a freemium ecosystem for Gravity PDF. We just launched premium templates last month, actually. So users can go and buy pre-built designs. So Gravity PDF actually comes with 4 unique designs out of the box, but you can go to the template shop and buy another 5 different ones, which will work on any form. And then there's 3 different letter designs, so you can generate letters out of the box, and 2 invoices. So that's step 1 in the freemium system. And then we're going to look at building add-ons. One of the most requested ones is being able to preview the PDF before the form's submitted. The use case there is paid documents. So enter your details. Here's your preview. You want it, pay the money, and then you get it automatically sent to you. So that's one of the biggest requested features that we'll be looking at down the track.
Very cool.
Got any more questions for me, Robey?
Yeah, I do actually.
That was you, director.
So I hear you're a co-organiser of the Port Macquarie WordPress Meetup. How did that come about?
Well, Robey, that's a bit of a loaded question since you're the other co-organiser. For those, well, not in the know, Robey. I met Robey down in Sydney WordCamp. I've actually got the t-shirt on. And we were chatting about Gravity PDF and his business, and we swapped cards and kept in touch. And you were living at Queensland at the time, and we're talking about moving down to Port Macquarie.
Yeah.
And you were really excited about all the meetups going on in Queensland, and you wanted to bring that to Port Macquarie. So we got talking, touched base, and now we're on to our 4th meetup next month, I believe it is 4th.
Yeah, 5th. The end of this month will be our 4th.
There you go. And the last meeting had 10 people, which was good. If we get any more, we'll have to find a bigger premises.
Yeah, that's right. And I think someone told me the topic for this month is going to be how to speed up your WordPress website. I may or may not be presenting that one. So if you're in the area, find us on meetup.com and feel free to come along.
And that's the last Thursday every month, isn't it, Robey?
Yeah, you would be correct, Jake. Yes. Yeah, that was quite a large plug there, actually. Sorry about that. But Paul, do you have any more questions?
Yes. So you okay? So you talked about revenue, yeah. So I'm sort of interested in that side of things. So how's everything going with with the launch of the premium templates, and what was the reception like? Did you get a big did sort of get $1 million in the bank, and can you sort of now retire on some sort of island or a yacht or something like that, and continue to build your plugin, or yeah? I only feel comfortable if you want to talk about this. I'm just curious
Oh,
about your revenue side.
that's fine. No, I definitely cannot retire from the launch. I actually purposely made it a soft launch, so I kept it fairly quiet because with these kinds of things and all the technology behind it, it tends to break. So I kept it quiet and got a few people to test it out on the production side of things. And there were a few technical problems the first week. Thankfully, they're resolved now, and it's gone fairly smoothly. Actually, I sent out a few emails to our marketing list, and I actually just did the accounts yesterday. I didn't make $1,000, but yeah, it was a good number.
Nice.
Definitely not going to retire off it, and custom PDF templates are going to be the main revenue generator for the time being. But I think with the addition of add-ons and the momentum, it should definitely pick up.
So you
with
kept it quiet until now. When obviously everyone knows about it now.
Yeah.
Because it's been on the show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So with making the version 4, which is, like as you said, a lot more user interface driven rather than developer focused, how has that changed the custom template business? Is it you're finding that you're getting still the same demand for that, or are people that might have done that before able to do their own templates using the interface now?
Good question, Tracey. We've actually had a resource issue over the last few years. It's a good problem to have. Not enough staff and not enough time to do all these custom templates, which is why I brought Julian on in the first place. And instead of trying to spread myself too thin, pay more staff and get more custom templates, I decided to go the opposite route and make it a premium service. So I think the free templates that people get out of the box with version 4 really suit the needs of some of the end users. Like Paul mentioned just before the show, he used the blank template option out of the box. And that's free. Obviously, you got to pay a Gravity Form license, but that's completely separate to us. And so for the custom template side of things, it's basically marketed on the premium end of the spectrum. I hope to fill that gap with the premium templates that people can buy from the shop. They're all under $100, but the custom templates, we basically charge $100 plus for any of those. So we're trying to cover all aspects of the market.
Yeah, cool.
Are your customers worldwide, or
Yes, very much so. So nearly 60% of our customers are from the US. That's a huge part of our market is US clients. And then surprisingly, because I just downloaded these stats yesterday so I could talk about them on the show, the next 12% is from Australia. So
okay, cool.
yeah, that was good. That the local market is the second biggest we've been dealing with, and then after that we've got the UK and Canada. So mostly, they're all Western orientated cultures, English speaking, that kind of thing. But we do have a small selection of customers in Europe. So we've got the Netherlands and Spain and Germany. There's a few regular customers we do work with.
Nice. Very cool. You're an international business.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's when you actually look back at where the plugin started, how many years ago, and how it's grown, and where it is today. It's really something you can look back and go, I'm proud of where it is right now and where it's going, and I built that. So
That's
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
So
you've
you're,
done a great job.
yeah. So you're going to be speaking at WordCamp Brisbane?
No. I don't think my schedule will allow me to attend Brisbane, unfortunately.
Okay.
Bummer.
But social speaking is probably one of my up there fears. So probably won't be speaking in a few WordCamps that I attend in the future. I'll start small and start with the meetups.
We'll see about that. That's all my questions. Any last
Good.
words?
If anyone's interested in Gravity PDF, you can just head to gravitypdf.com and check it out. It's free to download. It's on wordpress.org. You will just need to have Gravity Forms installed to use it.
Yeah, cool. And you're on twitter.com/JakeJackson_.
Yes.
And you're on GitHub at github.com/JakeJackson1. One. All right. Well, let's call it a night.
Thank you very much for having me on the show, guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
And we'll see you somewhere.